Increasingly, it's family and friends, not strangers, behind financial fraud and identity theft. When it comes to identity theft and other financial fraud, the perpetrator is sometimes close to home. While people worry about having their identity or money stolen by strangers online, family, friends and acquaintances are increasingly the ones stealing and profiting from personal information, according to one survey. This creates a tricky and potentially expensive situation for victims to resolve. Experts say theft by a family member or acquaintance is vastly underreported. The National Crime Victimization Survey by the Bureau of Justice Statistics from 2016 found that just 6% of all victims of identity theft knew something about the offender. But another more recent report by Javelin Research Strategy, which surveyed 5,000 adults, found that the number of victims who knew the offender in cases of identity theft spiked to 15% in 2018 from 7% in 2017. Because victims were hesitant to report the crime, about 3/4 of these victims personally bore all or some liability for the fraud that occurred. Experts said that victims generally do not report the fraud because they don't want to get friends or family in trouble with the law or cause personal rifts. They often feel some shame and embarrassment that it occurred. And in some cases, such as with children or the elderly, they may be unaware or reliant upon the perpetrator. Axton Betts Hamilton is an authority on the topic, both personally and professionally. Growing up, Betts Hamilton watched her parents struggle unsuccessfully for years to resolve cases of identity theft. At 19, she discovered that her own identity had been stolen years earlier. It took Betts Hamilton about 8 years to straighten out her credit report. The cruelest twist came after her mother's death in 2013, when she and her father discovered that her mother had been the culprit, taking an estimated $600,000 combined from Betts Hamilton, her father and grandfather through various misdeeds. She has turned the formidable experience into a career. Betts Hamilton is now an assistant professor of consumer affairs at South Dakota State University, where she focuses on issues such as family financial abuse, child identity theft and elderly financial exploitation. She also wrote a book, The Less People Know About Us, about her personal experience. Since the book's publication earlier this year, Betts Hamilton has heard from other victims around the globe, some with stories more extreme than hers, in many cases involving other forms of abuse. Still, Betts Hamilton and other experts say many fraud victims are ashamed to come forward. It is exceptionally underreported, said Charity Lacey, spokeswoman for the Identity Theft Resource Center, a non-profit that focuses on supporting victims. There are all these justifications. For more on this story, visit the news article link.